What's good with it? It's your boy, Simon Phoenix. This is Shots Fired. What up? What up? What up? What's good with it? It's your boy, Phoenix. This is Shots Fired Podcast Sunday Night Rant. And if you are new to the show and how we do things over here, then you would like a topic or something, right? Need some information. So it is about topics, and this Sunday night show is all about the topics you send me. And how you do that is send your topics or conversation points to shotsfiredpodsimon@gmail.com. That again is shotsfiredpodsimon@gmail.com. Now, if you listened to last week's show, then you know I talked about Karrine Steffans, aka Miss Superhead, aka Miss Elizabeth, because she has a new name, and we'll discuss that in a minute. Anyway, she said some things that were going around the internet about slut shaming, and it was a particular group of men's fault. Those men with not so big man parts. And so I wanted to dig deeper in that, but I was like, I wanted to get a girl's opinion, wanted to get a lady, and then I was like, who? And so I figured I'd get somebody young and cute, and they can give me a young person's view because they know more about Lauren Harvey than I do, or at least a little bit more, and we could probably get some chuckles. So I figured I'll call my daughter and we'll chop it up. So I have the lovely Miss Alli in the building today.
Hey guys.
So how you doing there, girly?
I'm good. Thanks for bringing me.
Well,
I mean, to talk.
Yes, we know that you like to run your face. So are you familiar with the lovely Lauren Harvey, and how are you familiar with the lovely Miss Karrine Steffans, aka Superhead, or whatever she calls herself now?
Yes, I do be on Twitter a lot, so a lot of this stuff is just, brought to my attention. I really didn't know much about her, but what's her name? Superhead?
Yeah, her name is Karrine Steffans.
Karrine. I know on her podcast she says her name is Elizabeth, so I don't really know her name, but I did see the podcast. So
okay, all right. So now that being said, let's get into the first of the clips. Right. So she starts her show like this. So I'm gonna play this clip so you can see how she starts the show and what she says about slut shaming, or at least a gist of it.
Okay.
Well, if I can find it. Can you find it? Hello? Can you get some help? Back up.
There are a lot of small penises in this world. Most men have small. Listen, I don't know if men know this.
I think
I'm not done. I'm not done. Men need to hear this. Most of y'all, listen, what camera am I looking? Most of y'all have small most of y'all have small penises.
So, all right. So that's the first clip, right? She starts out and she's just like, okay, the first clip she wants to show before her show even gets started is the majority of mandom have little penises. I was like, damn, you just gonna shame us.
the edit is so funny.
I definitely want to shame us for something we can't control. Off jump, she comes in throwing low blows. I'm like, okay. So my second point is, do you have any clue when she changed her name?
No,
Okay.
I didn't know her for real because I'm, not that old. So when she was out here popping that
obvious.
thing, when she was out here popping that thing with Ja Rule and stuff, I didn't really know nothing about that. But I did recently just see this, and that, you started talking about it, and then you told me who she was. So the fact that she changed her name is kind of funny. I know you said, and she said she wrote like books, and they're like about all her like freaky stuff. So
yeah, they're about her exploits. They're basically like she has 3 or 4 books, and they're like the diary of a video vixen. Have you heard that term before?
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently, like I was alive during this time period. She was in a lot of videos, and you know, apparently she had touched on a lot of famous men's and athletes and rapper guys and so forth. Some notables is Shaquille O'Neal. You mentioned Ja Rule. So you know,
because that's who gave her the name Superhead, right?
Yeah. As the industry story goes, no, I was not there because I've never been famous or rich. But the industry story goes that they had a little fling or whatever, and he was like, she was the greatest person to talking to the mic, so to speak. So that's kind of how she got her claim to fame. She has also been a part of the adult industry as well, and she kind of got famous for that, her sexual exploits. Now she has a podcast, so she was bringing to the attention of the general populace of us listeners and nosy motherfuckers out here, that she came out and said at what you just heard is that most men have small penises, and they're the ones who slut shame because they got small penises. And she's never heard a man who is well endowed, as they say.
I think that's exactly what she said.
So that's where she's at with it. On the, let's say, surface level of this conversation, what do you think?
Okay, so I have 2 ways that I think about the situation, or I think about the podcast, I would say. I think that there are some points that she makes that are valid and do make certain sense. But with what you just said about the big don't slut shame, that is not true. I feel like if you are a shitty human being and that's how you talk or that's how you go about women that you sleep with, then that's just what it is. It does not matter what the size of your is.
Okay. I like your self-censorship. You're doing very well.
I feel like penis sounds weird, and I don't just want to be on here like, if you ain't got no big dick.
Yes, please don't.
So I'm just gonna
only because you my daughter. You're any other woman, I'd be like, no, scream penises and dicks all you want, girl. It's fine. But you my daughter, I'm like, hey, I don't condone that. And what I'll say to you is this, right? And I've said this many times to you throughout your life, right? As women, you are going to be flooded with a lot of men offering you sex. And what I told you was, today starts the day you get to be Wonder Woman, and you have the magic bracelets, and you will be blocking man parts coming at you like firing bullets, and you will be looking like Wonder Woman in the scene where she slides around and knocks off everything. That is you, and this is your life, right? And so when a woman says that men slut shame, what I just said to you is why men be like, well, really don't slut shame. We talk bad about you behind closed doors if men in our circle has had their way with you. So what I mean by men in our circle is, for men, we think a slut is a woman who has had a lot of sexual partners in a social circle. So what that really boils down to is, if you're the football team, you're the basketball team, you're a group of friends, you're a bunch of homeboys that rap in the city, and these are all the rappers. You the dope boys in your city, and y'all all sell dope. You the car guys, you the motorcycle guys. You can take any group of men. There is a group of women who are attached to those men who will sleep around with all the men in that general universe of guys in that hierarchy. men call those women sluts because she knows that those dudes know each other. There's going to be a conversation about her. She don't give a damn. And for men, that means that none of us are going to take you seriously. I think Miss Steffans is painting a picture that's not really there, because most women would never know we're calling them sluts until it's way too late. Because men don't slut shame, but women do. And that is why I brung you as a girl to be like, can I please get a woman to be like, women slut shame way more than men do?
I don't know if I would say way more, but I do agree that women do slut shame. And I feel like a lot of it does come from like how she tried to be like men insecurities. A lot of that come from women insecurities and them not thinking enough, or them being like, why he choose her over me type of thing. I feel like that's when women slut shame and they just become nasty women, because they're not thinking of it like, oh, she got him. They're thinking, why her, not me? When it shouldn't even be like that. Right.
Okay. I can accept that. How about we get into the next one?
That are strictly for women. You guys don't have these. They're not made for you. Don't do that.
I mean,
don't do that.
We get called F-boy, and that's
what, the same as a whore? Does it hit you? Does it hit you the same?
Nah, it's definitely not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not.
And the whole world doesn't do this to you, and you're not judged by it, and then you're having your life ruined by it. Your work ruined by it.
That's all.
Your personal relationships ruined by it. It's not the same. You guys don't have the whole world judging and telling you what to do with your body. We literally have the government telling us what to do with our bodies. The government.
Yeah.
Somebody somewhere right now is changing a law that tells us what we need to do with our bodies, when and how we can get birth control, when and how we should even be able to get abortions, or even just care, even just care. And then also when and how we should have sex and not have sex. The problem with slut shaming is this. Slut shaming is born in the insecurities of men, and your insecurities are born in your penises and your wallet size. Because honestly, and I'm gonna be super frank here, I never heard a big dick man with not just big dick energy, not just BDE, but a man who's well endowed. I've never seen a well endowed man call a woman a whore. Okay. It's always the men who can't handle a sexually advanced woman in the bedroom.
Okay.
Listen, I have some thoughts about slut shaming, obviously.
We're here to hear it.
I got some thoughts about it.
All right.
Because I'm super passionate about this issue, obviously. I think women's sexual rights and just rights in general, it always strikes a nerve with me. And also, y'all men just drive me nuts.
Not all of us.
All of y'all drive me crazy.
All right.
So, but before I get into all of that,
okay.
Back to Lori Harvey. Because I'm about to get on a tangent right now. Lori Harvey, I would say, like, if Lori Harvey...
Okay, let's stop there, right? What did you think of what she was saying there? That, do you believe that men's insecurity is based in their manhood and their financial ability?
I think some do, but I feel like that even when they do, it's probably a lot deeper than that, because that's obviously some people's insecurities, but everyone is not running around being like, oh, I have a little dick, I'm depressed, no bitches want me. No, like some of them really do not, some men do not care, so I would not be like all men that, and I feel like maybe the money could be, like I could see a lot more men being more depressed that they don't have money, because let's talk about sluts, if we're going to get into that. If I'm a slut and I'm just out here having relations with whoever, it doesn't matter if it's little, doesn't matter if it's big. If you got a big bankroll, because that's what most of them do, and she's trying to make it like, oh, if you a hoe, only chase the big dick ballers, when in reality, no, that's not even what they do. They just chasing the ball. They're chasing somebody who's going to spend money or take care of them or do what they need, and in return,
the magic blue check mark.
It's just an exchange in a hoe's mind, or a whore, a slut. And the way she tries to like describe it and try to like make it sound like it's empowering, it's really not. It's kind of like a double entendre, because in a way it's like you're telling women, go get the big dick dude with the money, and he's going to treat you right, and he's going to do this and he's going to do that. So if I run into a dude with an average sized dick and he makes money and he's take care of me and he's nice looking and he just cares and is nice, I should tell him no because I'm gonna find a big dick man? Bitch, there's some, and you know, if that's your preference, that's okay. But there are a lot of women who they do not care about that. There's a lot of men who they might have average, but they know a bitch who like that, or a woman who likes that.
Look, here's the thing, right? As humans, in general, whatever you're given, except for the last, let's say, 20 years to give it a nice little cute bow. I know it was a little before then, but in general, for mass people doing. In the last 20 years has been the golden time of you can go get you fix some body parts, fix some stuff you don't like. But in general, most people's working with what they working with, right? And as men, you definitely look at this show as this what it is. I think Cat Williams said it best, is like, as a man, if you got a big nose, you look in the mirror, you're like, damn, I got a big nose. Okay. It is what it is. It's still gonna be some of these broads out here that like this.
No,
this
for real.
sniffer.
And I feel like it should be like, that was kind of like my thing with like how I said she was trying to like how she's trying to empower women. Instead of telling women go chase a big dick baller, why not go chase somebody and be like, do you think that if a dude came in your house with a gun, is he standing in front of you? Or is he letting you get shot?
Or are you gonna
for real?
save the day?
Because I know a big dick nigga who gonna run. So I know you know what I mean? I know a big dick nigga with some money who that happens in real life. Oh, he like, shoot the bitch. I got too much to live for.
He a coward.
I'm gonna find me another bitch who look like her.
Right.
So instead of being like, ladies, go chase that, why not be like, ladies, go find someone who actually cares about you?
Well, that's too much like right, as old people would say. That's too much like right. But for me, it's her inability to see that she is doing the thing she doesn't want done to herself.
That is true.
She is shaming men for something they have literally no control over, to turn around and say to men, oh yeah, it don't matter because I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to shame you and tell you, don't shame me. And this is very personal for her because, like, I painted the picture and I tried to on purpose without using those words. This is how the general society looks at her. The majority of men, like, on face value.
That's why she feels so deeply about it, is because when she talks about it, it's almost in a personal way.
It is. Like, it is. Look, listen, look. In reality, what she's doing is saying in code to men, right? And this is going over women's head. But in code to men, what she's really saying is,
stop calling me a whore.
Stop calling me and girls like me sluts, because you don't even got enough penis to satisfy me, chump. That's what she's saying. That's really what she's trying to signal secretly. Okay, how about this? Let's get another clip in, Alli. Let's get another one. She going even harder.
A virgin, a woman who hasn't been around either or, she hasn't seen probably any penises, maybe just one or two. She hasn't been down to Miami during spring break or to hedonism in Jamaica and seen that penises get pretty big and awesome, right? She hasn't tried out a bunch of penises. She's a virgin or she's very inexperienced. Men like
or
this
stay
better
small,
because then a man who is inept, and to be honest, most men are inept. Okay, the average penis size is only 6 inches. That's not a lot of penis. I'm sorry. I'm giving it to you guys really. Like, listen, no chaser here. 6 inches is not a lot of penis.
Okay.
There's men out here with 8, 9, 10, 12 inches. Okay? Mm-hmm. And more. I've seen more. Okay. I've seen a lot more. Okay? I can't even get into it. I've seen some things. Okay? Some things. So
I'm curious.
Right?
I'm curious.
Listen.
Can I ask a question?
Wait, not yet. Let me finish my sermon. Okay? Because we in church. So now, when men shame women because of those insecurities, that makes women not want to have the sex that they really want. It makes them afraid to have the sex that they want to have. That shame is meant to make men feel better. So now it's like, well, I don't want to, I would have sex. I would have more sex, but they're going to call me a whore. So I'm not going to do it. So I'm just going to settle for this little penis man that I met one time. And now I'm having horrible sex the rest of my life so that I don't hurt his ego. But before I get into all of that, back to Lori Harvey, because I'm about to get on a tangent right now. Lori Harvey, I would say, like, if Lori Harvey was a friend in my head, if she was my friend, and she is a friend in my head, right? And I were to give Lori Harvey some advice. First of all, I have no advice for her. I have zero advice for Lori Harvey.
Really?
Yes. I think Lori Harvey is probably the first person that I've talked about on the show that I have no advice for.
Okay.
Because I feel like Lori Harvey did everything right. Lori Harvey kissed a bunch of frogs. And it's not her fault that none of them were good enough. That's their fault.
Wow. Okay.
If you were a big enough man in more ways than one, you might have been able to keep her. But you weren't good enough. You weren't big enough. You weren't man enough. You weren't something enough for her based on her standards, most likely.
Wow.
And she moved on. And we can't stigmatize women moving on. Y'all want us to settle for less so bad. But when a woman doesn't settle for less and she knows when to zip and zap and dip and dive, you're like, oh, she's a slut because you're not good enough for her. Now she belongs to the streets. And it's always the men with 17 kids talking about you belong to the streets. Bro, you are the streets. You are the dirty, nasty, rat infested. You're a rat carrying a pizza on a subway in New York, nigga. You are the streets. But because you're not enough for her. And then she ends up with Michael B. Jordan.
It's a good one.
Who is a beautiful man inside and out, I'm sure. And obviously he can hold her attention. This is what I always say. It's not the first. Remember when Ray J was like, I hit it first. Like, it ain't cute to be the first. That's not the cute one. It's the last. Who's good enough to be the last? The first is easy. I'm experimenting, bro. Of course you were the first. I don't know what I'm doing. You don't know. It's fine. But if I'm an experienced woman who has done my sexual due diligence, who has dated and kissed all the frogs, and then you are the prince and you get to be the last one, you're the one who lets me see that I don't want any of that. And I'm going to stay right here. Like you're it. It's not who's first. It's who's last.
Okay. So that's the last clip I wanted to do. Now, for me, I found that to be probably funniest of all of them, right? First, she's working under the assumption that because he's the last means she can keep him. And then we've already discussed that it's hard to keep someone paying attention to you if they don't take you seriously because your past is so bad. Like, you can push her out the way. So recently, the girl who is the Arabic young lady who was in porn, she used to be married, she got divorced, and she was complaining about not having a husband, right? Like, or how bad things was and how it's hard to find a dude. And then she like turned around like 2 days later, was like, she was like, dudes are the easy ones. She never not smashed a dude that she didn't want to smash, right? And then people were laughing at her being like, wait, what? You offered a regular dude sex who thought he couldn't have the sex with. Of course you were able to. What? That doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of like what she's trying to present here. Is like, if you run around and date all the dudes, that you're still going to have the option to have a great dude at the end, and therefore he won you because he's the last man standing. That's not a really good play to tell that to all women, right? Like, even if that works, like say 20% of the time, that's not anywhere near going to be good enough for it to be over 60% or over 51%, which would be the majority.
Well, what I feel like, and this is kind of my reasoning on why there was a lot of stuff that I disagree with, and I feel like it is also the way that she presents it when she is trying to make her argument. Some of the points that she makes are very valid, but when you go and you say she kissed a bunch of frogs, implying that she went and had why can't you, I feel like that's why it's wrong, because why are you telling women that it is okay to go and have sex with multiple people to figure out what you like, when in reality, you can date multiple people to figure out what you like, but all of them should not have that access to you. That should be some type of thing that you do with somebody that you finally are, like, when you're dating, just because you're like, in that moment, should I don't know, or at least personally, this is just me. When I'm dating people or, I'm getting to know them and just figuring them out, sex is the last thing on my mind. I want to figure out who you are before I'm going to decide if I'm going to have sex with you, whether I'm experienced or fucking not. It's not, I don't think it should be thought of as, it's going to be experienced, because like me, you were talking about earlier, why can't you just have that experience with one person?
Right.
You can go out and date multiple people and be like, this is what I like in a guy. This is what I like his goals and ambitions to be, and this is what I like for him to do. That's fine. But when you're out here like, I'm going to bounce dick to dick to dick to dick to dick to figure out which dick is the best, that's when it becomes a problem. Because if you don't want men to look at women like we are a sex object and we are used for sex, why are you preaching, go get the big dick nigga? No. And like, I feel like that's why it's like a double standard, because just like I said, I don't want a man to look at me and be like, I want to experience her. I want to see what that thing is, what it is, without even trying to pick my brain at all. It should be the same way, because, or at least in my experiences, that's how I handle men.
Well, I did an awesome job. That's the correct way. You're trying to,
and I feel like if she would have said it, and I feel like if she would have said it like that, it would have sounded better, because yes, it is the men who have 17 kids, 18 baby mamas, if you know what the fuck I'm saying.
Definitely.
Like, who those are the men that you do be like, you can't slut shame me, you're a slut. You're for the streets. You can't come for me because you need to go look in the mirror. Okay, that's fine. But in real life, in reality, just like you were saying earlier, why would you even give him a chance? The thing we were talking about with Future.
Well, it's the same thing we had the conversation with Future, right?
Why did you let him get into your pants, but you knew he was not shit?
Because he was popular. Because he was one of the it guys. It was the feeling of, I had him because I wanted him, and the rest of y'all can't have him, even though he running around being Trolley, right? That BS goofy stuff. And so when you're on this level of goofy shit where you're presenting it as it's special, this is what makes you a clown. Like I was telling you before, a lot of women had a lot of animosity with Lauren, because she's already had the pick of the litter 4 or 5 times. So for average chicks, they're like, baby girl, we see you in the room. It was cute to watch you like pick winners that most of us would have sat down somewhere, $200 million guys. We decided to set our ass down somewhere. You had the soccer player, and like, we not saying that relation, what was going on in a relationship. We're just saying that on the outside looking in, there's plenty of women who said, oh, I would love to have a chance with a professional soccer player with a big bag. Like, yes, I would sit down. Thank you, Chuck. But that didn't work out. And because outside of Future, like, everyone makes fun of Future because he's Future. But outside of Future, the other dudes, 2 regular women, were decent candidates. And like I said to you, Michael B. Jordan looked like you couldn't get any better. There wasn't anywhere else she was going. Like, you can't get with LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as status, as far as money, there's pretty much not too many middle-aged to young black guys that's at the same stature as that guy. So that's why she took that level of heat. And I found it more interesting that it was so many girls that were like, yeah, treating bad. And I was like, that's still dumb because it's public. So if the next good dude, pick any professional black guy, basketball player, football player, whatever, and he sees that he like, well, you broke up with him, you was out here stunting, you just breaking dudes' hearts for no reason, you just being a dirtbag. You think I'm about to risk it all on you so you could do me like that public? Because you are now presented as a man eater. That's what you do. You get with men, you play the game, you get some gifts, and then you break up and be like, F you, I'm out. So if that's not the image that you want as a girl, why would you allow that to be the story that's being told? That didn't make any sense either. And so to me as a whole, everything about this conversation that she was trying to have just was goofy to me. Like, you're telling women to sleep around to be experienced, so then they can find a guy who is going to please them. But that means that you, as they call it, the CC carousel, as they call it. So you riding that, and that's going to make you a better chick for a dude who then don't want to take you serious because he found out you was on the CC. Like, that's a dead end to nothing. That's what this is. You're telling chicks to do a dead end to nothing. And I wanted a girl in the room when I said this so I wouldn't be like, I'm man bashing. No, this is a chick that did porn that all of the industry had their way with, giving y'all bad advice. This is what it is. Like, ain't nobody else gonna say it. Let me be the one to say it. This is who this person is. Yes, she's pretty. On the outside, looking at her picture, you didn't know who she was. A lot of dudes would be like, I would love to have a chick that looked like that. She's very appealing even at her age now. But looking at her resume, no, I don't want her. You've been with Mr. Marcus. No, I don't want, no, man, no. I'm good. I'm good. You've done things that's unimaginable for dudes to ever let that creep into your mind. It's going to ruin how they feel. And for men, yes, we have feelings. And some things is you don't want to know that your girl was part of a Budokai, okay? Mm-hmm. Ugh. It's not, that doesn't make me want to introduce you to my homeboys and say you're the love of my life. Let's just keep it a buck. So y'all to tell me to take advice from you is ludicrous to begin with. And I'm normally not a person to like go that hard on a person's past, but ma'am, you're not qualified for the relationship. Like, at least, like out of all the people, at least be somebody that's like, well, I've talked to millions of women. No, you're like, well, I've slept with all these men who just wanted to use and abuse me, so I really know relationships. What?
Yeah.
Did you have anything that you wanted to add or say?
I don't think so. I think I said enough. Like I said, I definitely don't agree with everything she said. I feel like that if she would have said a couple of things differently, she might have been there, but
No.
Okay.
I mean, you know that. I know that as a woman, you like, I don't want to throw her under the bus, but baby, you didn't leave me nothing to help you. Did you sound crazy? I got you. I'll say what you can't say. She can't help you. She has left you nothing.
No, and I feel like in a lot of situations, I feel like I don't even know how to say it.
Because you can't save her. Just let it go. Let it go.
Fine. I let it go.
Yeah, just let it go.
She just needs to say stuff better.
No.
Say stuff better.
She needs better ideas. The plan that you just tried to run was terrible. that every level of it just sounds bad. You want women to chase the men who are not the majority of mandom, even though there's not enough men to go around in general. You want women to chase them. You want them to be on the CC so they can have experience that they can now be good lovers for themselves, yet and still they'll have nobody to love at the end of the road. And because you are doing all of this, men are not going to take you seriously. This is her plan. This is what she's telling women. She tried to painted very cute, but this is what she's telling women. She's like, yeah, get on the CC, ride it, and you'll be experienced. And when you're ready for a man, you will hopefully find a great super lover man that's out here, that's got money and sings and does poetry and fight lines on Fridays and wrestles and raps and can break dance and does graffiti and pretty pictures and is sexier than Salt Bae. That dude is gonna want you, boo-boo. Sit down. Sit your ass in the corner. You go in the corner, ma'am. That's where you're going. All right. I've been Simon Phoenix. This has been the lovely Alli.
Thanks for having me, Dad.
You are more than welcome. I appreciate you coming on the show, being very candid. That's what's up. Y'all already know. Holla at your boy. I'm gone.